delighted to say it's to Abu Dhabi we go now, joined live by England all-rounder Liam Livingstone. It's been a busy time, Liam. I don't think I'll ever get my head round player auctions. I mean, there you are, winning the IPL with Royal Challengers Bangalore. You know, for the first time, it's an epic achievement, and then you're off back into the pool, and you've now been bought by Sunrisers Hyderabad. Is there a it's strange. Is there a tinge of regret or just excited about a new challenge? Thanks for your time, by the way.
It's all right. Yeah, I wouldn't even try and get your head around it, to be honest. It's all very complicated. But no, no regret, I don't think. Yeah, I think there was no secret. I really enjoyed my time at RCB. An incredible franchise, incredible fan base. Yeah, I absolutely loved my year there. Obviously amazing to be able to win the IPL, and certainly that night in Ahmedabad will live with me for a very, very long time. But yeah, like you said, franchise cricket doesn't wait around for anyone. I had a good chat with Mo and Andy, who obviously run the show at RCB, and they sat me down through everything, explained their reasons why they needed the money that I was on to get some backups for Hazelwood, who obviously has been injured over the last couple of months, and they needed to reinforce their seam attack. So yeah, they kind of rang me, said we're not retaining you, ran me through the whole reason why. So fair play to them, they didn't have to do that, but that was nice of them to sort of give me a bit of reasoning behind their decision. And then yeah, you kind of just move on to the next thing, and away you go again. And yeah, the auction day is pretty mad. Yeah, thankfully it all worked out for me really well in the end. But yeah, you just have no idea where you're going to end up, what you're going to end up going there for. But yeah, it's a really cool day to be a part of. I think yeah, it's only going to happen a certain amount of times in your career, and I think that was something that I thought this year that I'd try and watch it and see what see what happens, see what unfolds. And then I ended up going unsold in the first round, but I had a few people messaging me saying, "Don't worry, it's all going to come back round." So thankfully it did. And yeah, looking forward to what's to come. I'm obviously going to play for a coach I've played for over the last few years at Birmingham Phoenix, and having watched the way Sunrisers go about it the last couple of years, I think it'll be pretty exciting to be a part of it. So really looking forward to that.
We'll talk about the actual. Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk at this moment in time about pitches, but me and Manners were out in Hyderabad when England were there, and I mean that pitch is flat. That pitch looks an absolute belter to bat on. But Liam, take me into the IPL for people in this country in England who watch the IPL. You have had. I mean, I wouldn't say the sort of colourful career, but you've had an experienced career in the IPL where you've played a lot. You've been in franchises where you've played. You've been in franchises where you haven't played, but you've also been in a franchise last year where you've won. What does it take, and what's the difference between the franchise when you're playing as a player and maybe it's not going as well, the franchise when you're not playing as a player, but then when you go and win the trophy last year, the sort of three disciplines of being an IPL player from a different country?
Yeah, I guess the best part about the IPL is it is the best tournament in the world. The best players play in it. It's the best place to play. India pack their stadiums out. They absolutely love cricket. So it's an amazing tournament to be a part of, first of all. You can obviously only play 4 overseas. Most teams have 8. Some don't even bother with 8, and they try and go all out for 5 or 6 and back them. But yeah, I've started with Rajasthan. Yeah, sort of learning my way. Got an opportunity towards the end of one year, did pretty well, and then had a really good 100. Ended up at Punjab for 3 years. Had a really good year one, and sort of tailed off a little bit towards the end of that 3-year cycle. But loved my time at Punjab. It was great. They picked me up for a lot of money and put a lot of faith in me. And that first year was probably the best I've played in my career, or certainly one of the best tournaments I've had. And then obviously going to RCB is, you don't quite realize how big the big franchise is in IPL are until you actually play for them and you're around. And certainly, like things like social media, the support that you get is incredible. And every single cricket game I've been to ever since, you just get people chanting RCB at you just because you've played there, and then obviously being able to go on and win it. I had a really good innings against Gujarat. Then I sort of tailed off a bit, got dropped. Had some good chats with Andy and Mo, who kind of explained their reasoning. Told me not to give up. You never know what happens in IPLs, and then 7 games later, I'm going back over to play in a final, and probably the coolest. That and probably the World Cup win at the MCG are 2 of the best games of cricket I've played in. So, and ever since then, having sort of looked back on it, that night in Ahmedabad was very special, and I absolutely loved it. It was great fun. RCB was a great franchise to be a part of. And I think one of their greatest strengths at the moment is Andy Flower's obviously an incredibly successful coach throughout his career. And I was really impressed with how Mo Bobak went about things as a director of cricket. He spoke really well. He put plans in place that were really effective, and them two worked really well together. We obviously had a really good squad. But yeah, certainly if you have that top end management in place, I think it goes a long way to setting up a really good franchise.
Liam, I was about to ask you to take us into the ILT20 and, the sort of behind the scenes. It's been described as a made for television product. But in case we run out of time, I'll come back to that. I am very curious to know what it's like to play in as a player. But you've mentioned Andy Flower 3 times now, and you said that he gave you a call and chatted through the reasons for not retaining you. Sort of thanks but goodbye. But I just wondered whether you'd had a call from, I don't know, Brendan McCullum or Rob Key about your England future. Because, last time we chatted, there wasn't any explanation. You just captained England in the West Indies. And then you were left out of the squad. I just wondered whether, I'm not saying you should get special treatment over any other players, but any calls from you or to you?
I don't really think it's special treatment, to be honest, is it? I thought the boss of an organisation having communication with his players was just a normal thing. But unfortunately, it's not. I had a call when I got dropped in April, whenever it was. I heard nothing throughout the season. I was obviously told on a podcast that I needed to pick up the phone, and didn't think that was right for the player to have to pick up the phone to a boss. So I kind of waited till the end of the summer. I obviously had a really good summer. I felt like I was playing some really good cricket. I had a call about a week before my central contract was up. I think we were meant to have a call sometimes before the 15th of August, just to let you know that maybe you're not getting a central contract and try and get things in place for when you lose that. Obviously didn't get that. I ended up with a call a week before the contract was up, just letting me know that I wasn't getting my contract renewed. I kind of just questioned, should I not have been communicated this throughout the summer? Look, the one thing I can always hold my hands up and say is cricket decisions are cricket decisions. Like, that's somebody's opinion. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. That's very subjective, and I understand the cricket part of it. And if you don't get picked, you don't get picked. And I'll always hold my hands up and accept whatever that is. But that was the one big thing that I respected about RCB and Mo. During the IPL, when I got dropped, Mo actually took me out for dinner, just one-on-one. He said, let's go for dinner. We'll have a chat about a few things. And he just talked to me about my cricket. And he was like, I really believe that your best cricket is still ahead of you. Obviously, we've had to make decisions about being dropped. And unfortunately, that hasn't gone your way. But I really do believe that you've got your best cricket ahead of you. This is where I see your game at the moment. This is where I see you could get better. And I guess from somebody like Mo, he didn't really need to do that. he's only a director of cricket of a franchise. He didn't need to take the time out to take me out for dinner and chat through a few things. So when it came to the England stuff, I kind of just said to Keezy said that I wasn't getting my contract renewed. I said, was there any reason why? He said that I'd had enough opportunity in that role. And I said, yeah, that's fair enough. The cricket decision, I'll never begrudge that. But I kind of just said, was it not your job to sort of inform me and chat to me throughout the summer of the way that things are going? And yeah, I sort of got to the end of the call. It didn't last very long. It was probably about a minute long. And I just said, I thought it was his job to try and communicate with people and let them know where they're at. And his response, unfortunately, was, I've got 100 more important things to do than speak to you. So I kind of knew that that was probably the end of my England career, especially while these two are in charge. So yeah, from a cricket point of view, there's loads of tournaments out there to play at the moment. But from a personal point of view, I was pretty disappointed. Someone that has played for 5 or 6 years for England and won a World Cup as well, and sort of feel like I've given my all for my country for 6 years to be told there's more important things to do than speak to me was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, well, I'd say from your point of view, Liam, where does that leave you, as in from a mentality point of view? Because I always say the hardest part of my career was the 4 years after my England door was closed. I closed my door. You seem to have had yours closed on you. And when I was playing for money, I said that was the worst time of my life because I didn't have that England drive to get me, not so much to make me better, but I was always striving to play for England. What is it that you're going to get out of bed every morning now for to be the best version of yourself? Because you are English, you do want to play cricket for your country, but if the door's been closed, what is it that gets you going in the morning? But before anybody sort of starts saying it, and let's put it there, there's a lot of money in the franchise world, but there's nothing like playing for England.
100%, and I completely agree with that. And I've always said all along I would never choose franchise cricket over England, and that's been the same for the last 5 years. That was probably the hardest part for me mentally is playing cricket throughout the summer. I was playing to get back into an England team, but having looked back on it now, I was probably banging my head against a brick wall because I don't think that was ever going to happen. But if I'd have been told that in April, then mentally I probably could have got over that, moved on, and sort of set myself a new goal for what's to come. And that was one of the conversations I had with Rob. I said, is that the end of my England career, international career? And his response was that the only person they weren't picking is Jimmy Anderson. So even I sort of still haven't really had that closure from them. I probably have had the closure without them telling me, but yeah, I guess one of the most important parts of international cricket, or I guess world sport, is communication is such an easy part of it. To pick up the phone and to chat to people, and like I sort of had at RCB, to be honest, is probably one of the biggest parts of it. And just letting you know where you're at mentally, that obviously affects you physically, but a massive part of it. And I know I'm not the only person in that boat as well. I know there's a fair few other people in a similar boat to me. So yeah, I guess that's probably the hardest part of it, is you wake up in the morning and what is your goal to sort of get you out of bed and get you in the gym and get you down the nets. And some people it's to try and get back playing for England. Some people it's to play till they're 40. Some people it's to earn as much money as they possibly can over however long they've got. Mine is certainly to get up to try and enjoy cricket again. I don't think I enjoyed playing cricket for the last sort of 12 months of my England stuff anyway. So I'm certainly enjoying my cricket a lot more. But yeah, I think you've just sort of got to find out what it is for you, what actually makes you get up and go to the gym and get in the nets, and you've got to find that for yourself. And that's probably been a pretty difficult thing for me over the last few months.